So let's figure out how to tidy up the exercise1.py file from week 2. Once you've got your linter working, which isn't necessarily the easiest thing in the world, but let's assume that it is working, there's a bunch of things we need to do. And the easiest way to do that is to start looking at these errors, the flake8 errors, and just clicking on the place where the error is, line 10, column 6. Instead of like counting them, we can just click it and it'll take us there. And it'll tell us what the problem is. So it says E271, which you don't really need to worry about, but they're all documented in the Python documents about what the errors are. Multiple spaces after keyword. Now print is considered a keyword in this case. We can see that because it's printed, it's shown in red in this particular color scheme. So there's a couple of spaces here and they shouldn't be there. So we can just get rid of them. And then the error disappears. And so that's gone. Then we can do the next one. Next one is missing white space around operator. So equals is an operator. We'll have the same error down here because we've got a multiply sign, a plus and a less than. They're all operators and they all need to have spaces around them. So if we put a space there and a space there, then the error goes away. Next one, missing white space after comma. Now, there's a bunch of commas in this that don't have white space after them. So we could do this all in one go. So we can click there. Now if we hold down Control, we can click in the other places where there's commas in this list, press space, and it'll put a comma in all of them. So you could just click and space and click and space, but it's nice to start getting a bit flashy with your editor skills from time to time. And so that's cleared a bunch of these errors down here. All right, let's have a look at this one. Continuation line under indented for visual indent. Now this just basically means it's not pretty. So this line here, this jobs list, is broken over multiple lines. It could all be on one line, but sometimes we want to break lines to make them easier to read. Lots of things are about making things easier to read. So in this case, what it's asking us to do is to line up the openings of these lines so that it's clear that they're a visual block. And so now we have this visual block of get this file to pass the linter. Okay? And then that error's gone away. So let's have a look here. Missing white space around operator. Again, here, the equal sign. So we can be flashy here and press Control, click, click. Now I've left that key there, so I shouldn't have done that. So I'm going to click to make it go away. Click, Control, click, and we've got two cursors. We can press space and they move both at the same time. We could just have done that by clicking there, pressing space, moving there, pressing space. Doesn't make any difference, it just looks flashy. Okay, module level import not at the top of the file. Now this is just because modules need to be imported before all the code runs usually. So they need to be at the top so that they happen first, because things run from the top to the bottom. So we could highlight this, delete it and retype it at the top, or in Atom we can press Control and then up, and it will move the line that we're working on. So as we move that up and down, we're like, oh, yep, okay, that's the top of the file. If we move it up a bit higher, it'll give us an error that says this error says future imports must occur at the beginning of the file. So from future must always come before the other imports. That's just a kind of thing. Right, let's put in a line break there so we can separate the imports from the rest of the code. Let's move on to the next error. So missing white space after line 18, after comma on line 18. So again, space, same error there, space, same error there. We can just chew our way down here and all of those comma errors have disappeared. Next thing, missing white space around operator. So there we go, that one's gone. Next error, expected 2 blank lines found 0. So whenever we have a function, the linter wants to see 2 blank lines before and 2 blank lines after. Okay, so now that's gone. White space before bracket. So there shouldn't be a white space there, and there should also not be a white space there. Okay, next one. white space after there. So there shouldn't be a white space inside those brackets. Okay, so the next thing is line too long. So that line wasn't too long, but it is too long now. Now a lot of people broke this line here and got an error. So this is a bit of a problem, because if you break it there, you're breaking it inside a string. So we want to break it, let's say here. And now the line isn't too long, but we've got two new errors. We've got trailing white space. That means white space at the end of the line. This is a problem because it's a way of introducing changes to your code that aren't going to cause any sort of difference. So you can create what they call trivial diffs. So let's just get rid of that. And now we have the same error as we had before with the continuation line under indented for visual indent. So that just means tidy up. Now this looks right here, but really that bracket next to 1 plus 1 should be inside the bracket for print. So this bracket and this bracket are a matched pair, and all of this stuff is between them. So these brackets contain all of this stuff. And now we can see that there's no linter errors. Okay, so that's all happy. Well, let's just run the tests and check that. So if we go to the terminal, now I need to convert this. So cd projects git. I also need to change the window capture method.